Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, it's great to see you. And first of all, I will begin this interview by asking, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Anna. I am a long-term YouTube person. I started a channel called Basil Mentos back in 2009 and made stop motion animation videos with American Girl dolls for many, many years. And now I am 10 years, 13 years later, and still connected to the American Girl doll online community. They're not making stop motions anymore.
You're very famous in the community for your stop motion videos, as you've mentioned. So when you started making this genre of video, were there other users making stop motions with American Girl dolls, or were you the pioneer?
I was not the pioneer, actually. Stevens Wood a Dancer, I think, is the most significant pioneer of American Girl stop motion. She was really the one who started it all. And she was posting videos back in 2007, 2008, along with another handful of creators like Uno Dos Ginger and others. I actually found out about American Girl stop motion because I went to YouTube and looked up American Girl dolls and saw a video by Stevens Wood a Dancer. So I definitely was not the first one to make stop motion. There were creators who did it before me, but in my time on YouTube, I would definitely say that I started exploring new ideas with stop motion, such as making videos outside, and was part of sort of expanding the world of American Girl doll stop motion on YouTube.
How long did it take you to make a stop motion video?
A typical video, if I was filming in high quality conditions, like indoors with good lighting, those kinds of things, it would take about an hour to get 15 seconds of footage, which shakes out to, 4 hours for 1 minute. A lot of times when I was filming this stuff, the conditions were not good. So it would sometimes take even longer. But every stop motion video that you watch, you know that a lot of love went into every moment of footage.
So making stop motions seems like a very tedious process. So when would you make your videos? Would this come at the expense of other aspects of your life, such as your school and your social life or work?
I started making videos when I was in middle school. So at that point, I had a fair amount of free time, lots of time to explore and play. But as I got into high school, it became a bit more difficult to balance YouTube with the other aspects of my life. And I would say that most of my video creation was done either during the summers when I was on break or over the weekends. It was really tough to fit in time throughout the week when I had school and theater, among other things. And it was also hard because I didn't tell anyone about my YouTube. So there was no way for me to, make videos with my friends or involve my doll video creation with other hobbies. It had to be kind of separate from the rest of my life when I started. So once I told my friends about my YouTube and I was able to be more open, I found it easier to make time to make videos because I could be honest with everyone about what I was working on when I said I was busy. But yeah, it definitely was a balancing act throughout high school and college, trying to figure out how to find time for this personal hobby that meant a lot to me while also having a social life and staying ahead in school.
Is there a certain video that you're most proud of? And if there is, why would that be?
It's definitely Mermaid Cove, just because of the amount of effort that went into making that video. The whole thing is filmed outside, so the conditions were not ideal for stop motion. And a lot of the dolls fell into the ocean. I broke my camera on a rock. It was really difficult. So I was really proud to have produced that despite all the challenges. And I think that the end result came out really, really well. But another video that I don't mention as much is Trapped in Time. And that's another summer movie that I did and the longest movie that I ever did. It was a little bit easier than Mermaid Cove because there were some indoor scenes and a lot of scenes were filmed in the forest on flatter ground. But it was still a massive undertaking to create a movie that long. And I used a lot of my favorite music from that time in my life. So every time I go back and watch it, that video makes me really happy.
So the videos you just talked about, Mermaid Cove and Trapped in Time, they had extensive plots. How did you come up with the plots for your videos?
Most of the time, my plots were inspired by wanting to be kid friendly, primarily because I knew that my channel had a lot of content that was being consumed by children. So I was thinking about sort of fantasy storybook themes that were appropriate for children. And of course, I wanted to be outside as much as possible. Summer's a beautiful time to be outdoors, and I wanted to plan movies that would allow me to spend lots of time sitting out in nature. So things like Midsummer Magic, a movie about fairies who live outside, Mermaid Cove, a movie about mermaids that live outside, those kind of ticked all the boxes for me
How often do you rewatch your old videos?
all the time. I took a little bit of a break when the COPPA regulations came through on YouTube, and I was feeling really upset about the status of my videos. But especially within the past few months, I find myself watching Basil Mentos at least once a week, just remembering all of those great moments.
Around when did your channel surge in popularity?
It was probably in like 2012, I want to say. I know I was in high school. And I could tell that my channel was surging in popularity because I remember it became more work to manage it in that time of my life. When I had started on YouTube, it was a pure hobby. I kind of worked on it whenever I felt like it. And over time, I started noticing that I was getting a lot of comments, messages of people wanting to collaborate, lots of views. And suddenly it seemed like a bigger task than just a casual side hobby.
And how did YouTube popularity make you feel? Did you enjoy it or was it difficult to cope with?
I was really lucky that I became popular on YouTube slowly. It didn't happen overnight for me. There were a few videos that got a lot of views, but it wasn't the kind of instant stardom that you see today with TikToks going viral. It was very much a slow and steady process. So I think for me, it was only positive. It was really exciting to be validated for the work that I did. And I don't think there were any drawbacks to that popularity besides me feeling more obligated to publish things regularly.
Earlier, you touched upon the fact that your content influenced children. How did the fact that your content impacted children change how you made it?
That was really important to me when I was planning out videos. I wanted to make sure that anything I produced was kid and family friendly and something that parents would approve of and want their kids to watch. So I always stuck to really wholesome themes and tried to tie in a sort of moral lesson or message with every video. Sometimes it's really small and subtle, but the videos always have sort of a positive bend to them. And I think that I definitely saw the rewards of that, and that a lot of parents would comment and say, thanks for producing videos that are safe for my kids to watch. I know I can, set my kid up with the iPad watching Basil Mentos and be assured that the content that they're watching is totally age appropriate. And I've also received a couple messages from children's therapists, things of that nature who have used Basil Mentos videos in their work with young children. So that was definitely a big piece of producing these videos, is making sure they were great for kids.
You basically grew up with us as we were watching your content. So you did mention that you were also a fan of other age YouTubers. So who were your favorite
Yes.
creators?
Yes, I was a fan of so many age YouTubers. There was an amazing, thriving community out there for many years, and there still is. The main age YouTuber who really sticks out to me over the years is Mixie Pixie 7, because she has been creating hilarious, entertaining, engaging stop motions for a decade. And I always get a laugh out of Micah's videos. I've always enjoyed them. But there were other creators as well who made amazing stop motions. I remember there was a user named Aquila1998. She's no longer active on YouTube, but in the few years where she was present, she produced some amazing, amazing films. And lately, since sort of reconnecting with the community, I've really enjoyed the AG Jitters summer movie. That was an incredible stop motion. And I've also really enjoyed the movie Bob, an American Girl doll movie, which is produced by Four Happy Hippos. Just super creative, amazing set building. There are so many people out there who are making incredible doll videos to this day.
There was a bit of a mystery behind Basil Mentos because you hid your face during your entire YouTube career. Why did you decide to remain anonymous?
I did it for a couple of reasons. The first being just personal safety. I was really young when I joined YouTube. I think I was 13. So my parents didn't want me showing my face on the internet just for safety reasons. And, once I had been hiding my face for many years, for safety reasons, I decided to not let the cat out of the bag because I kind of enjoyed that people were watching my videos and appreciating my videos without needing to know what I looked like. I liked keeping it about the dolls, keeping it about the Basil Mentos sisters, rather than having it be about me. Um, Obviously, things have changed now. I'm in sort of a different phase of this YouTube thing, and I'm okay with showing my face now. But I'm glad that I kept it a secret for all those years because it allowed me to really focus on what mattered, which was creating stop motions.
So in terms of, keeping things a secret, who in your personal life knew about the Basil Mentos channel while it was still active?
Yeah, my family all knew. I was very comfortable telling them. And for the first 3 or so years of the channel, none of my friends knew. When I was 16, I told my best friend, and she was really, really supportive. And she actually said that it made a lot of sense because I kept telling her that I was busy on the weekends. And she's like, what is Anna possibly busy with? And the answer was making Basil Mentos videos. So my friend was really supportive when I told her when I was 16, and that encouraged me to start telling more and more friends until it was basically public knowledge at my high school, and people thought it was funny and kind of made a joke of it, but were always respectful to me.
Were most reactions positive or negative?
Positive for sure. Yeah, I had one friend who said that she thought it was weird, but she really came around and we actually ended up making a doll stop motion together.
Selecting American Girl dolls was more than a personal decision for you because each became a new character in the Basil Mentos ensemble. How did you select what dolls to add to your collection?
I was always thinking about my next doll and always trying to be really careful about which doll I chose to join the Basil Mentos family. And at the end of the day, the things that were most important for me in my decision making were providing balance. I wanted to have a diverse array of dolls that all looked different and could all have different personalities. Um, and of course, there's some level of personal preference, but that's really what it came down to. So with each additional doll, I was trying to add some new variation to my doll family that would complement the others. And in personality as well, I would try to add enough shy characters to match the loud characters, and enough sporty characters to match the artsy characters, and building these personalities that could hold strong throughout videos and complement each other.
Changing topics, what was your favorite part of the video making process?
I think it was probably the set building, to be totally honest. I got such a kick out of building miniature worlds for my dolls. You see that a bit in the Basilmentos dollhouse. It's pretty intricate. There's different rooms for different characters, but also in all the different scenes that I would make for movies. I just think about, for example, there was a movie called Overshadowed, and I created a little street scene in the beginning for the dolls to be walking to and fro down Main Street. And for me, that was always really fun to try to build things in the miniature. I've seen a couple of modern creators, as I mentioned, who do this really, really well. AG Jitters has an amazing intro scene that shows a little hallway of an apartment building with doll-sized doors. I thought that was super clever. And in Bob, the American Girl movie, For Happy Hippos built a small house out of cardboard, and you can see the outside of the house as the camera pans in, and it's just amazing. So I think other creators would agree set building can be a really, really fun part of the process.
Did you ever receive help making your videos, or was it always a one-man operation?
It was always pretty much just me making the videos, but there were a few videos where friends jumped in to help. As I mentioned, there was that one friend who made a stop motion with me. Sometimes people would help with a shot or two. Sometimes people would do a couple of other voices for me. But for the most part, majority of videos were something that start to finish, I was the only one working on the project. That's, of course, excluding collaborations. You'll see quite a few videos on my channel where another creator is mentioned in the title, and it's something that we made together as a shared project.
Was there a point when making videos became more of a business endeavor rather than a fun hobby?
I don't think I ever got to a place where I saw Basil Mentos as purely a business. Because for me, it was always something that I was doing because I loved making videos. I was never just doing it for the money. I would say there was a point where I was really grateful for the extra income, especially when I was in college. And it was such a nice bonus and, maybe motivated me to make videos a little bit more. But honestly, for me, this was always a labor of love.
YouTube is very different from when you started your channel. Do you think Basil Mentos could exist today in the way it flourished years ago?
I think with the way that YouTube has changed regarding children's videos, Basil Mentos wouldn't be able to thrive today in the way that it used to. I think that the time that I was on YouTube was totally right place, right time. It was a great time to be a small creator and to grow. And it was a great time to build community on the platform. And I think that from what I can see, that seems a lot harder these days. It seems like a lot of the community engagement happens on other social media platforms like Instagram. So yeah, I don't think that Basil Mentos could thrive in the way that it once did. It's still really wonderful to see there's a lot of folks who are still on YouTube, still commenting, still participating, but the community has definitely shrunk from when I was really active in like 2016 to 2019.
I'm sure your audience wants to get to know you a little bit, so I'm going to ask, what was your college experience like?
Yeah, my college experience was a mixed bag. It was a big learning experience for me. I moved to the other coast, was living in a place that was a lot colder than my hometown. And it took me quite some time to adjust to all those changes. But it was also a really valuable learning experience for me. And I'm really glad that I went to the university that I did because it opened up a lot of academic and professional opportunities. And I made some friends too that I've kept till this day. So um, I think it was a really scary leap to get up and move across the country, but I'm glad that I did it because I wouldn't have been the person that I am today.
What kind of job do you have now?
I work in digital marketing now, which I think makes a lot of sense considering I started on YouTube. I work for a nonprofit. So a lot of my work is around fundraising and branding, and I get to do cool, new, different things every single day. I love my job.
How has your experience running Basil Mentos helped you with your career?
I think that the YouTuber mindset has really helped me in my job. And what I mean is that over the years creating my YouTube videos, I learned how to teach myself things from scratch. There were a lot of times where I had to learn how to use a new video editing system, learn a new filming technique, try something different with voiceovers. And there wasn't always a playbook or instruction manual on how to do those things. So I would Google stuff, I would figure it out, I would experiment, I would fail, I would practice. And I think that attitude of openness to learning and experimentation has been super helpful in my job. I think I'm not easily intimidated because my many years of YouTube taught me that you can figure most things out if you look hard enough.
What's your current lifestyle like?
I live in a big city, in an apartment building. My dolls are in my closet because there's not a ton of space in here. And I'm working a 9 to 5 job. Outside of work, I'm pretty outdoorsy. I really like rock climbing, biking, skiing, basically anything that will get me outside. So I'm always staying active and staying outdoors.
So, aside from remaining active, what are your other hobbies?
I like to sew occasionally. I have a sewing machine. I've made a couple like outfits for myself. I actually used to make doll clothes occasionally when I was really active on YouTube. So it's been kind of fun to translate that to human clothes. Human clothes are harder, by the way. I have learned because humans are all inconsistent sizes compared to American Girl dolls. So I've been doing some sewing. I love crafting of all types. And of course, I love spending time with my friends. Though to be fair, when I'm hanging out with my friends, we are usually rock climbing or hiking or biking because I've selected people who enjoy those same hobbies as me.
So, do you have any particular future plans?
Yeah, I definitely want to progress farther in the career that I'm in right now because I love it and I'm having a really great time. In terms of my sort of creative online presence, I don't have any plans for another YouTube channel or another video career, but I'm still leaving that door open in case I feel inspired someday to make another video.
Is Basil Mentos over?
I think Basil Mentos as we know it is over. And I think that I still want to be engaged with the community because connecting with people through AgeTube makes me really, really happy and grounds me and gives me a really good sense of belonging. But I don't think that I'll be posting any more stop motions or films. I don't want to make any promises to anyone because I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. But I do hope to stay connected with folks that I've met online.
And is there a final message you would like to convey to the AgTube community as you depart, or at least transition into a new way of existing within it?
Keep being creative, keep dreaming big, and of course, keep being so inclusive and kind to each other.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me for this interview. If you were to ask me what I think I would be doing at this point in my life, I would not tell you I would be interviewing Basil Mentos.
Yeah.
This is absolutely crazy, but I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right. Well, so nice to meet you.
It was
We'll talk
great to meet
soon.
you too. We'll
All
talk
right.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.